or what she said. They would have walked away. And this is the damage. This is the damage that false prophets do.
In fact, many people were thankful that somebody gave them a clue that it could be any other day besides.
See, now this is the psychology. You know, you guys, it wasn't that bad. You know, in fact, it actually turned out to be pretty good. Everybody grew closer to God, and there was nothing wrong with it. So actually what I did was really, really good. And you guys don't need to look at me as a false prophet or a babbling, vain, moronic teacher. It actually was for the benefit. So that's probably why God did this all. It wasn't me, guys. It wasn't me. It was God, and everything turned out great. So don't look over here. Let's move on. Let's continue. Listen to this. This is, I'd call this the crown jewel of the video.
So, as I tell you, I don't know what to tell you.
So, as I tell you, I don't know what to tell you. Well, I think true believers can't kind of figure that out. You don't know what to tell them. You're just on YouTube to gain the praises of men, to serve your own belly, and that's all you are. Again, and it's good that we reprove this woman, because listen to how she just absolutely twists Scripture to bring sympathy upon herself as though she's being persecuted for her faith in Jesus Christ. Listen to what this, oh my goodness, what she says here.
In Luke 6, verse 22, again, this is Jesus talking. Blessed are you when people hate you, when they exclude you, insult you, and reject your name as evil because of the Son of Man. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy, because great is your reward in heaven, for that is how their ancestors treated the prophets.
No, that's not. That's not, Kat, and none of that applies to you, for you are not being persecuted for your faith in Jesus Christ. You are being reproved for your false prophecy. And furthering, again, we know this scripture that is in Deuteronomy 18, where if you had done this in previous times, you would have been killed. That's the offense that you have committed. You are not being persecuted for being a Christian. If you want to look at it as persecution, that's fine. You're being persecuted for being a liar and using the name of God to try to further your own agenda. Let's just all agree on that. Kat is not being persecuted for being a Christian, but here she does. She tries to do what every ridiculous and laughable false prophet does. They try to apply these scriptures to themselves as though now she's some sort of a victim, and she's not. She's Queen Dingy. Now here we're going to listen to a clip of her telling reading the parable that's in the Bible about the tares growing with the weeds. I'm sorry, with the weeds growing with the wheat. And listen to the arrogance here.
Till the harvest. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, that would be me.
See how she self-testifies that she's a harvester? You know, and why did you feel the need to do that? How does one do that after so blatantly false prophesying? It is astonishing, the arrogance, the pompousness of this woman to call herself a harvester. I'm trying to think of something to say. It's just, your jaws just drop. It's absolutely astonishing what a dingbat this woman is. Let's listen on.
First, collect the weeds and tie them into bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring into my barn. I told you the very first thing that he would do is judge the church. That's what we are doing. We are now in harvest time. I have repented.
No, you haven't.
You will. Because I will tell you. You just stoned a woman.
Okay, you just stoned a woman. Okay, I heard that. Continue.
Stoned a sister in 2016. You crucified a sister in 2016 in the end days in front of your father.
And I think that if we actually did what she says we've done, then we've actually obeyed Scripture. Because again, we know in Deuteronomy 18 it says to put to death somebody who falsely prophesies. But somehow this novice finds it fascinating that she took such a beating. That's delusion. Somebody who's so delusional that they can't get past what in her mind, I falsely prophesied and they're mad. They want to kill me. They want to obey the scriptures and do what God commands men to do when somebody falsely prophesies. But here again, see how she's turning it around. And she's going to get away with it with many of her followers because they don't know the Bible. They don't know Scripture. So this is enough. I want to send a plea out to those who follow this absolute novice dingbat. I want to raise the question, why? Why would anybody listen to another word that this woman has to say? Why? To do this, you have to intentionally disfollow the truth of Jesus Christ. For he tells us, he warns us several times throughout the New Testament on what it's going to be like in the end days, including silly doctrines, doctrines of devils, people coming forth claiming to have divinity, which we know she did in the last video when she claimed that people have actually blasphemed against her. Why would anybody continue to listen to her? It is so ridiculous. So I would plead to those of you listening to me to get back on the path to the truth of Jesus Christ, to be sober-minded, to pay no heed to babbling, silly, false teachers and false prophets who do nothing but testify of themselves and then make up excuses when their ridiculous and obvious prophecies don't come to pass. Please follow Jesus Christ. This woman is not to be feared. She is mentally ill or on drugs. And she did say one thing that was true, that she is in the Bible, but it's not where she says. She's in the Bible in 2 Timothy 4:3. When it talks about they will no longer give heed to sound doctrine, but heap unto themselves teachers having itching ears. Please recognize this, everybody listening to me. For I don't point to myself. I don't point to any other man. I point to Jesus Christ. And I ask you to follow his commandments, to love him, and to know what people like Cat T are doing. God bless you all. Leave your questions, comments, and have a great day.